For the longest time, finance has basically been split into two completely different worlds. On one side, you have the towering traditional world of stocks. On the other, you have the fast, borderless, decentralized world of crypto. But what if you didn't have to choose? What if a bridge could finally connect them? Well, we're about to dive into the tech that does exactly that.
So let's break down why this is such a game changer. Right now, if you're an investor, you're pretty much living a double life, right? You've got one login for your stock portfolio and a totally different wallet for your crypto. Each one has its own rules, its own risks, its own language. Just think about it. Traditional stocks are like a fortress. They're regulated, they're stable, but the gates only open from 9:30 to 4 Monday to Friday. Then you've got crypto. That's the wide open frontier. It's innovative, it never ever sleeps, but boy can it be volatile. And, being your own bank is a big responsibility.
So it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why do we have to make this trade-off? Why can't we have the security of traditional markets and the freedom of crypto? What if we could finally get the best of both worlds?
Well, guess what? That question isn't just a what if anymore. An innovation is here, right now, that acts as the very bridge we've been talking about, connecting these two financial universes and creating something totally new.
They're called xStocks, and the concept is actually incredibly simple, but it's brilliant. Just imagine a digital token that lives right there on the blockchain, but it represents a real-world share of Apple or Tesla, or even an entire ETF. And here's the crucial part. Every single xStock is 100% backed one-to-one by a real share held in regulated custody. It's the asset you already know, just seriously upgraded for the digital age.
And this is where it gets really, really powerful for you. This new form unlocks some incredible benefits. Trades settle instantly. I mean, literally instantly. No more waiting 2 days for your money to clear. The fees are just a fraction of what you'd pay a traditional broker. And most importantly, you have full self-custody. These assets live in your TON wallet, completely under your control.
Okay, so this brings us to one of the biggest ideas here. The ability to manage your finances without the middlemen, without the traditional gatekeepers. Let's really dig into what that freedom actually feels like.
I mean, the difference in the experience is just night and day. The old way? You know the drill, paperwork, waiting for approvals, and always knowing that your broker technically holds your stuff, and you're totally locked into market hours. The new way with xStocks? Forget the gatekeepers. You swap directly from your wallet, you hold your own keys, and the market is always on.
Here's the bottom line. Your financial strategy is finally on your clock, not someone else's. An idea hits you late on a Sunday night? You can act on it right then and there. You have the freedom to manage your portfolio when you want to, not just when a bell rings on Wall Street.
All right, so the 24/7 access is a revolution in itself. But let's get practical. How does having stocks and crypto in the very same wallet fundamentally change the way you build and diversify your portfolio?
Okay, let's have an honest moment about most crypto-only portfolios. You might think you're diversified because you hold 10 different tokens, but if they all rise and fall with the price of Bitcoin, you're not really diversified, are you? You're just exposed to the exact same risk in 10 different flavors. When the crypto tide goes out, all those boats sink together.
So, a really simple but powerful way to think about this is the three-bucket approach. You've got your first bucket, your crypto-native assets for those high-risk, high-reward plays. Then you have your stability bucket with TON and stablecoins as your safety net. And now xStocks perfectly fill that critical middle bucket, assets tied to the real economy that can smooth out performance and lower your correlation to those wild crypto cycles.
And here's what that could actually look like. Now, these are just examples, of course, but they show you the power of this new toolkit. You can stay aggressive on crypto, but use xStocks to hedge your bets. You could build a perfectly balanced bridge portfolio, or you could even create a conservative strategy where real-world assets are your foundation, and you can do it all without ever leaving the blockchain.
So this all sounds amazing, right? Maybe a little too good to be true? So how is it all possible? Let's take a quick peek under the hood of the core technology that makes this seamless experience a reality.
A lot of the magic starts with a protocol called Omniston. One of the biggest headaches in DeFi is something called fragmented liquidity. Basically, your money is in one pool, but a better price exists somewhere else. Omniston acts like a super smart shopping engine, scanning all the liquidity sources on TON to find you the absolute best price for any swap, saving you money on every single trade.
For xStocks, the system uses an even more powerful tool, escrow swaps.
Think of this as a mechanism that gives you institutional-grade security for your trades. It uses something called atomic settlement, which is really just a technical way of saying the trade either executes perfectly or it doesn't happen at all. There is no in-between. Your funds are never left hanging in limbo.
So the key takeaway here is that this isn't some far-off future concept. It's live, right now. So how do you get started enjoying this evolution? It's probably much, much simpler than you think. Seriously, you can own your first tokenized stock in about the time it takes to make a cup of coffee. It's just 4 simple steps. Go to the xStocks page on ston.fi. Pick the asset you want, enter the amount you want to swap, and confirm in your TON wallet. That's it. No brokerage accounts, no lengthy paperwork.
And you can start with names you already know and trust. We're talking about tokenized shares of Apple, Tesla, and Alphabet. Or, if you want broader exposure, you can swap into ETFs that track the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100. It's a familiar world, just accessed in a completely new way.
And this brings us to the most exciting question of all. We've just bridged stocks and crypto. We've put Wall Street inside a crypto wallet. Now that these two worlds are connected, and any asset can be owned by anyone, anywhere, at any time, it forces you to ask, what comes next? What will be tokenized tomorrow? The possibilities are just beginning to unfold.